The Matadors love its newest Texas Tech store, offering the official Wreck-'em Tech shirt of the Saddle Tramps. Together, the Matador and the Saddle Tramps are ready to gear you up for Texas Tech football. Buy your Wreck-'em Tech shirt at the Matador for only $15 and feel proud that you are supporting the Saddle Tramps and Texas Tech. Start a new tradition. Stop at the corner and shop the Matador, or shop online at shopthematador.com.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Matador Express. I'm your host, Everett.
And I'm Emma Adams.
The Texas Tech spring semester is in full swing for students here, and the Red Raider sports programs are kind of gaining momentum, getting in the middle of their seasons, and we're getting some new sports started as well. The Texas Tech track and field team kicked off their 2015 indoor season this past weekend. They had a home meet with some smaller colleges from around the area like New Mexico and Oklahoma at the Texas Tech Open.
Yeah, Coach Wes Kitley said a lot of the athletes were pretty sore after the first meet setting of this year, but he was very pleased with the results and says that they will definitely compete for the Big 12 title. Everett, I know you were able to go out and watch some events Friday night. What did you think about the teams?
It was impressive. You know, that was the first track meet I'd ever really covered and been a part of for a long time, so I like getting to see some of the sprinters. You know, Nigel Bethel was there running the 55-meter. He did really well and won both of the heats he did in the prelims and the semifinals. Ended up holding himself out. He kind of strained his quad a little bit, so he held himself out of the finals as a precautionary measure. So it was nice to see him run and do something a little bit other than cornerbacking that he usually does. And I also really enjoyed Friday night was the big event that Coach Kitley talked about with the high jumpers. Tech's got those two All-American high jumpers, and watching them it's an insane thing to see. If you've never seen some collegiate high jumpers, some really good high jumpers, you need to go out and see that. They were jumping, I think Jacorian Duffield jumped as high as like 7'4", so I mean that's just an insanely amount of height to clear. So I was really impressed with that. I think, you know, they're ranked number 9 this year, and I think Coach Kitley was really impressed with them and happy, and so I think he's really going to pull for that Big 12 championship this year.
Also, the men's and women's basketball teams also went in competition this past week, both taking losses in Big 12 play.
Yeah, the Lady Raiders were on the road last Saturday. They were taking on the Texas Longhorns in Austin, and they kept it close, kept it within 9 or 10 points for most of the game, but eventually the number 9 ranked Longhorns were able to outlast them and keep their Big 12 undefeated record intact. Tech looked like they were going to get back on the track get back in the win column when they had the 0-5 Kansas Jayhawks come to town Wednesday night, but you know they had a 17-point lead even as far as like 17 minutes left in the half, and they ended up losing that game 68-66. Emma, I know you were at that game. What did you think went wrong for Tech? What did they start doing wrong?
They had a great start. They were making a lot of important shots that were open, and they were finding the baskets that they needed to make. I think Kansas kind of caught up coming into the second half, and Tech got into foul trouble, and they weren't making shots that they needed to.
Yeah, the women will try and get their third conference win. They beat West Virginia and had one other conference win so far this season. They're going to go on the road in Norman this weekend, take on the Oklahoma Sooners.
The Red Raiders also took another hit during the week with Tech coach Tubby Smith announcing that freshman forward Justin Gray will not play for the rest of this season due to a knee injury.
Yeah, the Red Raiders aren't going to get any rest, though. I mean, they had TCU as one of the weaker teams in the conference. They weren't able to beat them. This weekend, they've got number 9 Iowa State coming to town. They'll play that game at 3 p.m. Saturday, and they're going to have a bunch of giveaways for students. So if you want to win some free Whataburger or get a free T-shirt or something like that, you might want to try and make it out of that game. That wraps up this week's episode of Matador Express. And remember, it's only 21 days until baseball season.